Hey, it's Scott once again with great resources for coaches. Today I want to talk about the concept of planting seeds. It's March. March is a time around our country where a lot of farmers and a lot of gardeners are going to start planting their gardens. Not where I live. I live in Montana. We're not going to be planting things for another couple months. But in a lot of places around the country, a lot of you will be planting, your gardens, and the farmers will be out planting their fields. That's not the kind of planting I'm talking about today, though. I'm talking about what we as coaches, we as teachers, we as parents, we as leaders do every single day. And that's plant seeds in the people that we lead. That's plant seeds in the young people in our lives. What kind of seeds do you plant? What are you doing with those seeds as you plant them? And are you conscientious about the seeds that you're planting in those young people? This is a very, very important point that we sometimes forget. Everything we say, everything we do is being watched, is being judged, is being monitored by the young people in our lives. And so we need to constantly remind ourselves that we are planting seeds in our kids with our words and our actions. Our words are the first place. A lot of times when we're teaching, when we're coaching, whatever the situation might be, kids are listening to our words. And we'll have direct messages for them that will say, hey, you need to, whatever it might be. And we're hoping that those seeds get planted so that they then take what we plant in them and start to nourish them themselves, although we'll be doing some of that nourishing as well, and then take and let that grow. But please understand that there's a lot of other things that we will say that we were not speaking directly to them, but they're still picking up on those, and we are planting those seeds in them as well. I think about my years as an English teacher. I was a high school English teacher for 18 years. And I think about the number of classes where I had certain messages, certain themes that we were going to be talking about. And I wanted to make sure the kids got those points. And for the most part, when we would discuss, they would. And those were great times. I loved that about teaching English. I had specific goals in mind for seeds I was planting in those kids. But I also think about how often I had what I would call throwaway lines. Just things that I was saying in the course of a conversation, a discussion, whatever, and I wasn't thinking of them as important at all. And yet, little did I know, I had various kids in any class that all of a sudden are going, I'll take that one, and plugging that into their brain or into their heart and saying, this is something important to me. And I was not thinking that way at all. That was made so evident to me many years ago, a few years after I moved I'm from the Chicago area originally. I taught and coached there for 11 years. When I moved to Montana in 1993, I went back to visit my friends. And I was visiting my best friend. He and I taught together in the same school. And we were out one night visiting, having dinner. And one of our former students came up to us and said hi. And he turned to my friend, he said, Mr. Kegnall, I just want to tell you thanks. You had a huge impact on me. And teachers, coaches, we sometimes get this from our kids. And he was like, well, that's nice. Thank you very much, Sean. And he said, no, I want you to understand. You said blah, 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 whatever it was, my freshman year. And there were so many times throughout my years in school that I was struggling. But I kept thinking about what you said in that English class. And I kept thinking about, that statement. And he said, that got me through. He said, I just graduated from college. And there were so many moments in college where I went through the same thing. But I kept remembering when you said, blah, 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 blah. I don't remember. This is 25 years ago when we were out and heard this from him. And he said, I just wanted to thank you for that because it really helped get me through. And my friend was, well, thanks, Sean. That's great to hear. I'm really happy. Congratulations. And the kid goes on his way. My friend turns to me and says, I have no idea what he's talking about. And I was like, whoa. How many times do we as teachers, how many times do we as coaches throw out lines, say certain things that we aren't thinking are important at all, but kids are latching on and putting those words, those ideas in their brains, in their hearts. We are always planting seeds, and we must be conscientious about the seeds we plant. Then we must be conscientious about how we nourish and nurture those seeds. We do that through more words, and we do that through our actions. Our actions must align with our words if we want those seeds to be positive seeds that grow and develop and build and sprout to become something positive in the young people's lives that we are leading. So consider this concept of planting seeds and the importance of planting seeds in the young people that you lead. Be conscientious. Don't just let things slide. Don't be haphazard in the seeds that you plant. It's a very, very important point, and I think it's fitting for this time of year. Hey, if you like this, I'd love you to give it a thumbs up down below, or leave me a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the concept, and subscribe to the channel too while you're at it, or subscribe to our posts to the blog, so you can get these posts every week delivered to your inbox. Really excited that you're with us, and I'm so grateful and thankful that you've decided to be part of the Great Resources for Coaches community. We'll talk to you next week.